Recording is on.
Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whichever it is for you watching this. Welcome to day 3 of trusting your decisions and gaining clarity on your next step and the courage to take it. So we've looked at the questions to ask yourself when you're wanting to decide. We looked at what is your criteria for what it is that you want to help you make a decision. And today we're going to look at what blocks you from making a decision or from following through, which is always a big one. And this one today, the recording is going to be a little bit longer because there's a couple of techniques that I want to teach you that can help in this process. So let's get started. So once again, the question, what blocks you from making a decision or from following through? Oftentimes that's a big issue, that maybe we have decided this is what I want, and yet we keep putting it off, taking that first step. Or we second guess, is this really what I want? Or maybe there's just a heaviness or something going on in the pit of our stomach whenever we think about it. So you know that on some level, there's a block. There's something that's saying either I need more information here, or maybe this isn't the right one, or there's some unconscious fear coming up that's getting in the way of what we want. So some of this is, some of these have to do with, these blocks have to do with a lack of trust in ourselves. Maybe there have been times in the past where we made a mistake or we made a decision and it ended up horribly. And there's a part of us that's afraid of going anywhere near that again, because look what happened last time. So there might be a fear there of, I don't want to do that again. I'm afraid of making a mistake. Another thing is when we are operating from a lower level of consciousness, such as when we're trying to make a decision from a place of anger or resentment or fear, that part of our brain doesn't know how to do that. So it blocks us from anything other than anger and fear and resentment. So these two aspects can create many of the blocks that we have in our decision making. So the first process that I want to show you, and this will work for any many negative emotions that are out of balance, that you're having difficulty letting go of. And so let's just say you're wanting to make a decision, and if you're feeling this anxiety or anger, I would suggest that you wait, if at all possible, so that you're not making a decision from a place of anger or anxiety. So one way that you can help move through that is, it's called the head hold. It's actually called the frontal occipital hold. And what you do is place your left hand on your forehead and your right hand behind your head at the base of your skull on those two bumps. So what this does is anytime we're under stress, I'm just going to put my hands down for a minute and explain it. Anytime we're under stress, hormones are released, adrenaline is released into our body for fast action. So the fight or flight response gets activated. And simply by putting our hand on our forehead, the energy of that and the warmth of that keeps the blood in our brain, keeps the adrenaline in our brain, so it doesn't drop down. It stays up in our brain where we need it for making decisions. And putting your hand on the back of your head on those two bumps, those are fear bumps in reflexology. And so simply putting your hand there sedates that. And so what you're doing is you're interrupting with these two actions as you're holding this, thinking of whatever it is that's creating this anger or anxiety. It's sending a message to your nervous system that this is not a threat. And it's keeping the thinking part of your brain in charge, the part that can think of new solutions, make new decisions, be creative. It allows that part of your brain to stay active instead of going into the fight or flight response, which only knows how to fight or flee or freeze. And that's not a good strategy for making decisions. So that's one tool that's very helpful, to just stop and do the head hold and breathe. I would say for at least 3 minutes, or at least until you feel a shift, 3 to 5 minutes. And the more you do that, each time you do that, you'll release more and more negativity, more and more angst that you might be carrying around that situation, because it simply starts to help release it. So the second aspect or block, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, is many people growing up weren't really taught how to make decisions. They were taught how to listen to what they were being told. They were taught not to talk back, not to question, but to just do as I say. That was the message, do as I say. And so then as they're out on their own, they're not used to making those decisions. They're used to listening to being told what to do. And so it's a new skill then to really start to identify, what do I want? And that takes practice and giving yourself permission that it's okay to ask for what I want. It's okay to know what I want. Doesn't mean I'll get it, but it's the likelihood of it is much more possible than if you didn't identify it at all. So the next one is getting information from a lower level of consciousness, as I said, such as anxiety or anger, or maybe you have heard of the brain waves, the different levels of brain waves that we possess, such as beta is me talking here, you listening. It's when the brain waves are very active and we're doing activities in the world. It's can be a very busy place. And then alpha is a bit lower brain wave, and that's situated a little bit higher above our head. The alpha waves, if you look up there and focus on it, alpha waves, brain waves, help us come to a place of peace, help us relax, help us visualize, that the beta wave level doesn't really allow us. And then above the alpha waves are the theta, which is for even deeper healing, deeper level of consciousness. And that is like 6 to 12 inches above your head. If you put your focus of attention there, 6 to 12 inches above your head, you will automatically go into that higher state of consciousness where there's not the anxiety, there's more creativity, there's more peace, there's new solutions that are allowed. So I would like to do a process with you now to just take you into that level of consciousness with a decision that you're trying to make and that you're not sure what's blocking you. So this is a very good process to help you get to what the block is. So oftentimes it's not that we don't know what we want, it's that there's something blocking us, thinking we're not allowed or it's not safe. So just now think of a decision that you are trying to make, needing to make, and put your focus of attention. Just imagine putting your focus of attention like 6 to 12 inches above your head. And just get used to having your focus of attention up there, like you're putting your eyes up there, looking up there. And breathe. And keep your focus of attention 6 to 12 inches above your head throughout this process. And any questions you ask, do it silently. So as you're thinking of that decision that you need to make with the focus of your attention above your head, just ask yourself, what do I know to do here that I'm not doing? So if it's a difficult situation, if it's a decision that you need to follow through with and you feel stuck, focus of attention 6 to 12 inches above your head and ask, what do I know to do here that I'm not doing? And then silently ask, what stops me? And just listen, or maybe you'll see an answer. And it's okay if you don't get anything. You're starting to create a new neural pathway simply by asking that question. Oftentimes the answer comes later. What stops me? And now silently ask, what do I know not to do here that I keep doing? And allow whatever to come forward. Don't judge it. Don't try to push it away. And then ask, why do I do that? What causes me to keep doing that, even though I know not to do it? And then ask, what is my next step for my highest good? Just notice what comes forward. And just try out that next step. Imagine yourself taking it. Imagine yourself taking that next step and just notice what that's like. Does that feel like a yes or a no? Just try it out, lean into it. And then come on back. So both of those processes that I taught you today are very powerful. I've used them on many, 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 many situations for myself to help clear them. And I always teach them to clients and in classes because I think it's just a simple, powerful way to help us clear stress, to help us clear situations that we keep remembering and get angry or upset about, and to have a clear consciousness and make decisions from that place within us that can think of new solutions and can be creative in solving problems. So have fun with that. The next or day 3 activity is to practice using that head hold. Simply left hand on your forehead, right hand behind your head, and breathe. Just keep breathing. Practice that 3 to 5 minutes. And then practice this process that we just did with focusing your attention 6 to 12 inches above your head. And even if you're in the process of making a decision, or if you're feeling stuck in anything, just putting your focus of attention 6 to 12 inches above your head starts to get things moving because you're going to a different level of consciousness. So it's really, really cool the way that we're set up, the way that we were created, all the tools that we have within us and around us. And I'm just really happy to be able to share some of the things that I know with you. And as always, if you have any questions, please contact me at info@dixieclark.com. Also, if you want to put this on your calendar, I will be hosting a live Q&A on Friday, August 19th on Zoom at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. So you'll need to convert that to your time zone. And there will be a link that will be sent out that day, so you'll be able to access it. And this is just to be able to share anything that's happening through the week, or to ask any questions that you haven't emailed me about. And if you can't make it, then you can email me ahead of time with any questions that you have, and I will answer them online if there's time. Otherwise, I'll get back to you. So thank you for your attention, and I will see you tomorrow.